Hi, I want to give you an overview of what I consider to be a good workflow and kind of best practices with bank feeds. So to get to your bank feeds, which is the one-way sync between your bank and QuickBooks Online, you can click on one of these boxes on the right-hand side, or you can click on the left where it says banking and then choose banking again. On the left-hand side, you have these three tiles. You have checking, you have savings, you have MasterCard. Each of these represents an account in the chart of accounts that you've chosen to connect to your banking. So you might have more than one checking, or you might not have a MasterCard. These words will be specific to your company file. For this video, I'm just using the sample company file. So when you open up this the banking screen, you have these various tabs, and I just want to walk you through what you're seeing. At the top, you have this tab for banking, and then to the right of that, you have a tab for rules. The rules are if this, then that rules. Then you have a tab for receipts. I'm going to go back to the banking tab to kind of show you more about that, because that's where most people need to get comfortable. The rest of it you can kind of get comfortable with on your own. And so you have these three tiles. The tiles represent each of the accounts that you've connected to QuickBooks Online. So like I said, you might have more accounts connected, you might have fewer accounts connected. It's any accounts where you've provided a one-way sync, data downloads from your bank into your QuickBooks Online, and you've associated it to an account within QuickBooks. When I click on the first tab, checking, the background becomes blue, and I can see what's in my to-do list. I have 25 things on my to-do list, and they're all listed down here. When I click on savings, it's going to change the background from gray to blue. Now I know I'm on my savings tile, and I have one thing to process on my to-do list. When I click on MasterCard, I can see that I have 7 things, and I can look down here to see those 7 things. If I go a little further down, I have 3 tabs. I have for review, which is my list down here. I have reviewed, which is stuff that I have reviewed and entered into my register. And I have excluded. Generally speaking, you don't want to click on things and exclude them, but sometimes it happens, and then you'll find that list of them here. Over to the right, I have this option for go to register. There's lots of ways to get to your registers, but this is one of them. So if I click on this, it just takes me to my register. So in this case, it's taking me to my MasterCard register, which is just a log of all of the charges and all the payments for my MasterCard account. I'm going to go back to the tiles by clicking on banking, and it takes me back where I was. Down below, I have 2 tabs. I have the All tab and the Recognize tab. So you have on the MasterCard, for example, there's 7 things. There's 7 transactions in your tab called All, and out of those 7 transactions, 3 of them are recognized. That means that you have 3 transactions where QuickBooks is saying, hey, I think I know what to do with these, but I'd like you to take a look at it with me. And so these are saying 1 record found. So it says Bob's Burger Joint. You've previously entered a credit card expense dated 5/23. It's downloaded transaction for Bob's Burgers for 5/23. The dollar amounts are the same. And so then you as the human would just click on match. So now your All tab is down to 6 from 7, and your Recognize is down from 3 to 2. So I can go back and I can click on the All, and I can kind of see more, right? So I can see my 1 record found and my 2 records found, and then I can see the text that has no suggestion. It just says uncategorized expense. So what I consider to be a best practice is that when you come into these tiles, I always start with the Recognize tab, and I just look and see, can I process these? In this case, I can see they're both good, and I'm happy to match them. I can match them individually, but I'm just going to choose Batch Actions and Accept to match them all at once. And now I have 4 things left to process. So then I would process these 4 things, and then I would move on. I tend to work from credit card to checking, but you can work from checking to credit card. I don't have a recommendation of where to start as far as these tiles go. My recommendation is start with the Recognize tab, because then it kind of makes this total feel a little bit less daunting. Like for example, there's 14 things here. So if I run through these 14 things and get them all accepted or matched or whatever the case is, then I'll only have 11 things left to deal with. And that doesn't feel quite as overwhelming as 25. When you're doing this for your books, you might not have 25, you might have 200. So if you kind of get in the habit of starting with the Recognize tab, you'll be better, you'll be happier. So I've entered those things into my register by clicking on Batch Action, Accept Selected. If I realize that I want to just double check something that I've done, I can click on the Reviewed tab and I can see the stuff that I've entered. So for example, Hicks Hardware, I've matched it to this, and if I say, you know what, that's not quite right, on the right-hand side I can click Undo, and then I'll take it out of the Reviewed tab and put it back in the For Review. So I'm going to leave it as uncategorized expense for the purpose of this example, and I'm going to click on Add. So I've clicked on Add, and now I can click on the Reviewed tab. When I click on the Reviewed tab, I see Chin's Gas, and I can see it's added to uncategorized expense. I can click on this blue hyperlink to edit it, and then I can change it to whatever it should have been. So for example, gas and electric. So that's a brief overview of how to work with the bank feeds. I have other videos that detail what's happening with them and kind of how to process some of the downloaded banking. But I wanted you to have just a resource that says, what am I looking at? Like, what does it all mean? So hopefully this has helped you. If you have questions, definitely don't hesitate to send me a quick email. All right, thanks.